Hello, beautiful people. Oh, I haven't been on here in so long, guys. I missed y'all. I'm going through, well, first and foremost, I just want to thank God, for allowing me to go through this. And he just came out on top. Like, I give him the glory, the honor, and the praise. Um, so I just experienced something so new in my life that I just have to come on here and discuss it with y'all. I don't know, like if you like are a chosen one, if you're a child of God, if you're listening in, if you have struggled in the workplace, now I understand. Like when I tell you, I just feel like I came out of a furnace of affliction in the workplace. My life is pretty much basic. I don't do much. I don't go many places. Like, I work, come home, take care of my children. That's about it. So, of course, like the enemy would try to afflict me at work. But it pretty much started, let me give y'all some background on just like what I'm talking about. So, I used to work for a senior community center, right? I'm not going to give the name of it, but I worked for a senior community center. I was in pretty much like activities. I planned and coordinated activities and things of that nature, and it was fun. Okay, in the community, it was nice. I had never worked with seniors before. This was my first time, so I gained a lot of like valuable lessons, and it was like a new chapter of my life, and I thank God for it. Now things started to go downhill. No, before we even get there, I would say that I am not the type of person to mix my personal life with work, meaning I don't go to company parties. I don't like frolic with coworkers. I keep things pretty separate. I'm pretty professional, right? So when I initially told them, hey, I won't be participating. That's when I first started to kind of feel like the backlag. I started to feel that they did not like that. That's because I was so different and set apart. Some companies like want all of their employees to be on one accord, and I just wasn't. That's not me. Okay. Well, anyway, so that was kind of like the first thing that I noticed. But one of my coworkers had left, and she used to work in like memory care. Like it's like a unit. It's the elderly who are going through like dementia, Alzheimer's, things of that nature. So I was offered a position, and I said, yeah. I said, why not? It's a new opportunity, new experience. I'm always down to grow. Okay, I'm always like, I love to like learn and educate myself. And since this was like a new opportunity for me, I went in there like just headstrong. Okay. So I got in there and I immediately noticed, okay, I said, okay, this is a bit different. I've worked on units before just in behavioral health, but this was different. This was, care was in there, meaning like there was like a care team, like the CNAs, the nurses, the RMAs, and then there was me. And I was activities, so I did all the activities. I planned and coordinated the calendars and things of that nature. Well, the families were heavily, and I emphasize on that heavily, involved with everything like activities, care. We did not have a manager in that particular memory care unit. So it was just me and the care team. And of course there was a nursing manager, but she wasn't my manager, right? So at first I'm like, okay, I had shadowed the girl that previously left. I'm like, let me just pretty much do the activities how she trained me to do. Let me follow the schedule. Let me do things. I'm very timely. Let me just do it how they train me to do it. So that's what I did. Like I did the activities how they told me to do it, but there was always a critique. There was always like, hey, let's do it a different way. There was always something wrong. And I want to go back a couple chapters. I say that, y'all, like I'm reading a book. But like when I first got in or walked into memory care, I could immediately discern the wickedness and the evilness on a lot of these family members. Like I could immediately discern it. And like if you are like a chosen one, if you're a child of God, we know like the enemy tries to hide. But one thing that God has like instilled in us is the Holy Spirit, and we're able to see and call out wicked and evil people. Like I could just see it. I didn't have to know anything about them, where they came from, why they were there. I could see it. I could feel it, right? So when you call out someone who's evil or wicked, who is attempting to hide, it furthermore upsets them. It furthermore upsets that evil spirit within them, because now they can't be deceitful, right? I know who you are. I can see you. You cannot hide in the spirit from me, right? So I immediately noticed that about quite a few of the wives or the children of the residents that were there. So I try to lead. I try to still, I pray through it, and I'm like, God, let me just lead in love. Just guide me, Lord. Whatever this opportunity is and whatever it presents, I trust that you brought me here for a reason. So I, was doing activities and I was doing my job. But like I said, they critiqued everything I did. And I'm like a team player. I'll be like, okay, like, all right, I'll try to, I try to tweak it. I always try to compromise and like have conversations like, where could we meet in the middle? And I always try to let them know and understand that I'm not the previous girl that left. I'm my own person with my own opinions and my own experiences that I want to bring to the table. But it seems like the more that I try to be creative, the more that I try to like pour like my experiences and things into like the programming, they just would push back. I'll give you guys an example. So we used to celebrate birthday parties, and they used to have cupcakes, like just simple, not only that, but it's not too much, like, because we're talking about the elderly, like anywhere between the age of like 75 and up. Like, so I didn't want to do too much. I'll give them like maybe a cupcake and a cup of fruit, just water, something like super simple, in like itty bitty cupcakes. And we had a birthday and I did that, and they complained about it. And they came to me like, hey, Shamara, like, this is, we don't want to, that's not what we do. And I'm like, okay, like, I'm all ears. Like, what, like, how can I make this okay? We had a conversation on Friday, and there was a solution presented, and they still went to upper management and complained about me. The information got back to me. It wasn't supposed to, but God is good. But it got back to me, and I said, why? Like, why would they do that? And I've had a conversation with them. I just didn't understand. I'm like, God, why? God was like, it's in the pudding. Like, they don't like you. I'm of light. I allow God to lead me. And they just wanted to like put me in a box. But like, us as the children of God, we were created to be set apart and to stand out. We were not created to be bounded and enslaved and put into shackles. And everything I did, they complained about. Everything. It got to a point where I was in my manager's office like every other day. And I'm like, God, this is a lot. They got to a point where I did not want to even work at that facility anymore. I didn't want to come to work. I was so disgusted. I was like, what do I do? God, what do I do? Like, I don't know I don't know what to do. And God was like, walk away. And when I heard that, and I was afflicted. And when I tell y'all, my character was tested like to the 10th degree. When I tell you, like, I thank God for for allowing me to like hold on to my character and to hold on to love and to hold on to light in the midst of that like crazy situation. Like, and I think, well, I don't think, I know I was being tested by God. Because what happens when the enemy is like provoking you or is trying to provoke you? What do? Do you hold on to love and light, or do you lash out? Do you like drop to where they are like spiritually? So I held on to God in the midst of that. It got so very uncomfortable in that situation, and I felt like I was like an elephant in a circus. Like, I wasn't just, okay, y'all have to know this to furthermore understand what I'm saying. So the first like 2 weeks of me being in memory care, I got Star of the Month. Most people would be super excited. Most people would be, yay. Like, I immediately knew, me dealing with the situation with the family members and stuff, that the temperature was going to be turned up. Like, I almost wish that I wouldn't have never even gotten it. When God says, like, we cannot handle glory, like, I did not want it. Like, I didn't want it. Because some of like the vendors and the other healthcare teams will go in there and they would write like little cards and stuff like about me, my character and just how I presented in there. And I got Star of the Month, right? I did not want it. I did not want that type of attention. I like to keep my head low, and I try to I serve and I work for God, right? I immediately knew that the temperature was going to be turned up. So once I got Star of the Month, there was a couple situations where they had came to me, oh, you got Star of the Month? With the most deceitful, almost like, I can't even explain the energy, right? There was one situation where a nurse or a med tech came into memory care, and she was like, I just love how you work with them. I just love like how you pour into them. And I look over, and one of the family members rolled their eyes. And I said, really? Why? Like, that was all I needed to see. That was all I needed to see. Like, this woman is my enemy. And it's so crazy that God will uplift you in the midst of your enemies. That's exactly what he did. What the Bible also says is that when we're exalted, when we are lifted up, we are to remain humble. I remained humble. Thank you. Thank y'all, thank you. I kept my head low. Even though I kept my head low, I still received heavy affliction. I felt like they even more complained. It was like, oh my goodness. Like, I was in my supervisor's office so much. I got overwhelmed. She's like, do this, do that, change this, change that. You know what was funny? This woman did not supervise me. She did not come down to memory care to see how I worked. Everything that she was projecting onto me was coming from external sources. How are you able to evaluate me when you're not supervising me? Make that make sense? And the fact that she took what they said for face value was what really hurt. Because you don't know my character and how I present if you don't see how I work, so every time I did an activity, that's what upset me. Every time I did an activity or did something, all eyes were on me. People were coming from different departments to come down and just evaluate me. It was a very odd situation that I was in. All these restraints that my supervisor were trying to put on, it was just too much. Like, she's trying to put me in a box. Do this, do this, do this that way. Do this how the previous worker did it. Did it. And I said, you know what? No. I had to make a decision and I had to make a choice. Do I serve man? Which a lot of things that were being presented to me didn't make sense. Because like, I walk in love and I walk in light, and people were more so concerned what I can tangibly give, right, than how I poured into, their family members. That was very bizarre to me, and I had never been presented in a situation where people were more concerned with the things that I gave. And when I say the things that I gave, guys, like, I used to do like activities, and we could like plan events and things like that. People were more concerned with that than the love that I poured into their family members. And then God put this on my spirit. Sometimes people will hate you for how much other people love you. I was already feeling like upper management didn't really, some individuals in upper management, I'm not going to name any names, did not like me. I could already feel that. So when all of these people are like, oh, we love her, it furthermore enrages a wicked and evil spirited person. It furthermore enrages. Let me tell you guys, when I came to the conclusion that it was just time for me to go. One day, I woke up, I went to work, and we were doing an activity. One of the family members was like, hey, maybe you should do it this time, next time. Her tone was nasty. Her disposition was nasty. I looked at her. I said, okay. She continued to like berate me. She continued to belittle me. Berate is not a word. Belittle me. She continued to, and all that guy said, like, he was like, hold your tongue. Okay. That's fine. All right. Okay. Right. I walked out of there on my lunch break. I sat in my car. I said, God, what do I do? God said, walk away. My whatever purpose, task, will that needed to be accomplished in those short, like 2 months of me working there. Mind you, I worked for this company for a year. I never had any issues, never had any complaints. The moment I walked in there, I was just exercised. My spirit was exercised, like on a daily basis, multiple times a day. Like, I was coming home exhausted, spiritually exhausted, could barely take care of my children. Like, I don't want to cry. It was like bad, like, I prayed through it. I leaned on God through it. He was my everything while I was in this place. Like, so I went to work the next day, and I sat in the office. I wrote up my 2 weeks resignation. No, it wasn't 2 weeks, it was a week. I gave it to her. No, I didn't give it to her. I went back down to the unit, and I texted her. I said, I need to talk. I texted my supervisor, I need to talk to you. So I come upstairs. It's the end of the day, and I handed her the letter. And she was like, really? She's like, don't leave. I'm like, it's time to go. That's it. And at the time, guys, like, I had been called to do something else, which was more spirit-led. But even before that particular calling, I was already done, like, spiritually. So, like, I had realized I was like at the end, right? Like, like when you're about to have a breakthrough, you could feel it. Like, the affliction gets like really, really tough. Like, it gets to be a lot, and I knew that the breakthrough was coming, but she's like, why? At first, I wanted to keep the peace. I didn't tell her why. I went home because this was on a Thursday. I worked that Friday. I went home and God was like, don't go back. I didn't go back. I text her. I said, I will not be coming back. And to be honest with you all, she tried her best. Like, she was like, stay like the full you got to get all your PTO, your time. You got to get your PTO. Like, what about, I'm like, God provides. I don't care. Like, that, because that's so worldly to say. Like, I'm like, I'm okay. I text her the weekend and I explained to her, you cannot box me in. 1, 2, there was no support. 3, y'all are allowing these families to dictate like what we do. There's no standard. There's no, I had been the 3rd person in that unit in 3 years. The 3rd activities person. 3 managers had quit. And I'm like, y'all haven't gotten to the bottom. Like, I can't be boxed in. You cannot box me in. Like, we're required as children of God to be set apart. And I walk and lead with love and light, and they hated it. A wicked and evil spirited person would just hate the light that you exude. They will hate you for your light. They will hate you for the joy in your heart. They will hate you for it. Miserable people, because that's what they were. It's like, you entrusted me to provide a service to your loved one that you put in my care. Like, either you don't trust me or you just don't like me, you know, because it wasn't like I was doing crazy stuff in there. I was following the schedule. I was doing things to how, I was instructed to do. And then I knew it was time for me to go when my creativity got halted. My supervisor sat across from me and said, hey, we got ChatGPT that, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, chat, because it can be a very useful tool. I'm saying, like, it's nothing. But in the position that I worked, and I'm supposed to get to know the residents, like the things that they like, the things that they don't like. And to have a robot tell me, like, this is a good activity for the dementia residents, and you don't know the residents, though. This software doesn't know the residents. This software doesn't know that they can't do this and they can't do that. So when she sat in front of me and said, this is a tool that we're going to be using, like upper management or my boss wants us to utilize this, I knew for a fact she was lying. I knew for a fact, like, where is this? And then I'm like, where is this coming from? And it furthermore started to irritate me, because it's like, you don't even supervise me. You don't even see if the activities that I am doing, they love. So yeah, that was a very, like, I don't know. So I quit and I just walked away. And that weekend, I told her I would not be coming in. I would do my best to, like, drop my shirts off in due time, but I think that this is the best way for me to leave. And she was like, I understand. She's like, if you need a reference, I'm here. And I think she also, just from like the text message that she sent me, that she understood why I was quitting, and that she didn't quite understand the level of warfare that I was actually going through, because she was so removed from her supervisory position. Like, it was like she threw me in there and just forgot about me. And yes, I'm a leader and I can lead, but when, like, the things that I'm presenting are being tainted by the judgment and the ridicule of others that don't like me, that's when it becomes an issue, So yeah, I just want to tell, like, the chosen ones out there, like, I get it. These workplaces, like, to be honest with you, I think, like, as a chosen one, as a child of God, that, like, we're supposed like, when I think of, like, entrepreneurship, like, that's what we're supposed to be chasing after. We're supposed to be allowing God to provide provision for us, because, like, these workplaces are not, and this is just not a chosen one, y'all. If y'all are, like, watching this, I don't know what's happening in the world right now, but stuff is getting crazy. It's like, oh, did y'all see the price of groceries? Like, oh my God, God is a provider. Like, I know God is a provider, because it's like, how are we even making it out here, y'all? It has to be God. And I said, God, I'm just going to trust where you take me, and you are good. And yeah, but if y'all are going through this, like, y'all, I understand. Like, I cannot compromise who I am, the love in my heart, the light and the joy in my heart, to appease people that don't even appreciate the love and the kindness and the joy within my heart, and who don't even lead with that, you know? So yeah. But when I quit, like, I furthermore understood, and I thank God for even putting me in that situation, because I learned so much about people, and I learned so much about the enemy and affliction, and I give God all the glory, because he got me through that. If it weren't for God, like, God is good. But let me go ahead and get out of here, guys. Like, if you are going through that, like, I will be praying for you. Matter of fact, I'm gonna pray right now. Dear Lord, I pray that whoever is watching this video, that you continue to lead them in love and light, Lord. I pray that you continue to guide them through the affliction that they are experiencing, Lord. I pray that you put your hand on their hearts, and that you uplift them with your kind words, and you remind them that it is possible, Lord, that there is nothing impossible when you are involved. In Jesus' mighty name I pray. Amen. All right, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.